All right, we are recording here. Where's the camera? I moved it. Okay, there it is. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Come on in, have a seat, lay down. I don't know what you're doing, but come on in, hang out for a little bit with me. My name is Audrey. You've landed on my YouTube channel. I'm a psychic medium. I am. Didn't ask for it, denied it, stayed in the closet about it for quite a long time. But here we are now out of the closet and doing things with my gift and talent. So today we are going to bag on Barry Morphew. I know. I mean, I kind of feel bad, but I think he's guilty. So then I don't really feel too bad about bagging on him. Since when does Audrey feel bad about bagging on murderers and criminals? Never. So, not too long ago, Suzanne Morphew's body was discovered in a, quote, shallow grave in Colorado. She'd been missing for years, and she was found. And let me backtrack a little bit and tell you psychically what I have been shown by Suzanne. In the past, and I do think this dream I had about Barry, I had a dream, I call it a nightmare because Barry was in it. But really it was a dream, and I think it was sent from Suzanne. You guys tell me what you think. I'm going to tell you the story of the dream nightmare. But first, let me remind everyone what I have said as a psychic medium on this case. And that is this. Suzanne has shown me herself in dirt. Big shocker there, right? They're out in the middle of the trees and the woods and nature. So that's not a surprise. But she also, Suzanne made me feel a while ago, she made me feel heaviness and something white. And I took that as being walls, WALLS, walls. Walls of what? I don't know, a house, a storage shed. I don't know. Being a psychic doesn't always give me obvious answers or obvious information. So even now, as I'm saying it to you, I'm going back to the vision that she had shown me of her. Like, she's like, I'm not going to be found because I'm in this dirt area, but then there's something on top of me. I'm never going to be found. I'm just not. No one's ever going to find me unless they destroy this whole area. So when she says that, it makes me feel like, well, that must be new construction, a construction zone, possibly. I know Barry was into that kind of stuff, construction, whatever. And for all these years, we haven't heard anything. We knew her bike was there, her helmet was there. Big deal, right? Honestly, there was no connection to anything with those two items until a couple weeks ago. The authorities found her body. They were out looking for someone else. Who wants to live in Colorado? I don't even want to go to Colorado. It seems dangerous to me in Colorado. Yikes. Don't forget, that's where the Watts family, Chris Watts, is from. So they found her body. And where they found it is not what I had in my vision. But Suzanne had told me she's been moved at least once. I feel twice. I feel Suzanne was killed in one location, put somewhere, and then later was moved to this final destination of where she was discovered. I'm still going to stand by what I said from what she shows me, continues to show me. You know what? Let me turn on my little thing. I haven't played with this since the last video with you guys. I'm just going to turn it on. because I am kind of feeling spirit here. So we'll see if my energy of receiving spirit matches this receiving energy on it. So this is an EMF detector. A lot of ghost hunters use these. I'm getting chills right now. I do believe these work. It's not a spirit box. Sorry, let me just. Um, this isn't like a spirit box. I feel comfortable using this. It's just measuring energy. That's all it's doing. It's not talking. But as a psychic, I'm just curious to see if when I'm talking to spirits and they're with me, if this lights up or not. So I'll just hold it here. I'll just hold it here for a bit. Okay, where was I? Mouth is dry. That's sometimes spirit. Mm-mm-mm. Okay. Okay, sorry, I'm getting confused because this is spirit coming in. When spirit starts coming in, I can't think it for a second. I get not confused, but I forget what I was doing, basically. Oh, that's just my ordinary, regular daily life. Um, okay, so despite knowing where they found Suzanne, I'm still standing by. There was another location where her body was at previously because that's still what she's showing me. Did you see that? And I have the chills. So Suzanne at this moment is showing me still the dirt with the white wall and that she was in there somewhere. But it's like, well, if she was there and no one was ever going to find her, allegedly, based on what you're saying, Audrey, why would Barry or someone else have moved her out into a shallow grave, which is much less secure, more uh, available to find in a shallow grave? I don't have all the answers. But what the vision I have to answer that question is Barry was panicking. Does that mean some agency knew possibly to look in this location that Suzanne shows me of the being in the dirt and the white wall? Maybe. A lot of times I just have to say stuff. I have to say it. I write it down. I document it. And then over time, I can go back and go, oh, yeah, this and this and this were right. But at the time that I said it, I didn't understand what it was, what it meant, or anything. That's just the way it works for me. And that's how a lot of readings go. We don't always find answers on the day of the reading. Sure. We get information and all that, but there's definitely mysteries typically in every reading I do for people. Okay. Now, let me tell you this dream I had. Dreams are weird. Brains are weird. Brains are a weird thing. They're supposed to be these computers, but we're humans, but we're also spirits at the same time. Our spirit consciousness doesn't really always communicate, receive, and put out information our human bodies understand, and vice versa. We're two separate, we're like oil and water in one contained vessel. We're one vessel of mess. So things don't always seem clear to us. So dreams are weird. That was my point. Dreams are weird. Okay, let me preface this with remember in Harry Potter. I know I'm 55. I still love Harry Potter and watch it and read and buy Harry Potter stuff for myself. Remember Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince? Remember that book or the movie? When Harry's dreaming, he's at school and he's having a dream of Mr. Weasley being bit by a big snake. and we think it's Nangini, right? Um, so Mr. Weasley's being bit and just really tortured by the snake. And it wakes Harry up and he's panicking and he comes running into Dumbledore's office, um, which I've been in. I've been in Dumbledore's actual office in London. I love it so much. They come into Dumbledore's office with Ron and Professor McGonagall, and Harry's all sweaty, and Dumbledore's not looking at him. And Harry starts yelling, "What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? Look at me. Look at me when I talk to you, Professor Dumbledore. Look at me. Help me. Give me some answers." And then here comes Snape behind everybody. And Harry's concerned because in Harry's dream, he was the snake. Harry was the snake in that dream. But we know Harry's not Voldemort. We know Harry's not evil. We know Harry's nothing bad. I mean, he's a person, but he is not an evil person. Yet he felt it was himself attacking Mr. Weasley and putting him into the hospital. Okay. So now, with that being said, in this dream I had, it was one of those dreams. It's like you go from this location to this location to this location. Okay. As I'm saying that, I'm like, okay, now that does make sense to me, given this situation. In the dream, I'm there with my husband, and it's almost as if I am in the murderer's body. Now, we know I didn't kill Suzanne Morphew, right? These are dreams. These are weird brain things, but hang with me. My husband, I'll tell you what my husband says about this dream. So we're in someone's backyard of a 2-story house. It was just dirt out in the backyard, but it was wet, so it was muddy. It was very muddy. And my husband and I are like looking around, like, I don't know why we were there. Can I put this down for a bit? I'll let you know if it's turning on. It just did something. Okay. Oh, it did something again. Oh. It was lighting up. Sure, now you turn off. Thanks a lot. Make me look like a crackhead or something. Putting you down. Don't you do it again. So we're in the backyard and we're just like confused what's going on, with all this stuff going on around the world. It's no surprise that people are having traumatic brain dreams and stuff, and terror nightmares and stuff. But so we're in the backyard and I felt like we shouldn't be here, me and my husband. And I'm like looking around like this, like, we need to go. We need to get out of here before these people realize who we are. Yikes. And then I look down all of a sudden and I see in front of me kind of a hole, and I see a bunch of bones. And then I turn to my left and there's a hole there with a bunch of more bones. And then here comes out of the back door of this 2-story house, is Barry Morphew. But it's like a small Barry Morphew. I don't know how tall he is, but this Barry Morphew was significantly short. I would say 5 feet tall, maybe, in the dream. Head a little smaller, but when he turns his head and looks at me, it's like, I know who you are. And so this little short Barry Morphew comes down the step. He goes, "I know you know what this all is. I know you know. But I'm here you're trying to clean up your shit and you're just hanging around and you leave me to take care of your mess again. And that was kind of the end of the dream. And my husband said, interesting. It's like the Barry Morphew perspective I was in was the Barry Morphew that committed the crime. But then the other Barry Morphew was Barry's other conscience. We all have different layers of self inside of ourselves, and it was like a different Barry. It was the non-murderous Barry. It was the Barry who has to clean up the shit. The Barry who has to keep everything together, hold everything in, cover everything up, manage Barry's doings, goings on that he shouldn't be doing. Covering up for Barry. So it's almost like we had Big Barry and Little Barry. Big Barry is the Barry we know. Little Barry is the Barry, like almost an inner child, but a little different. This Little Barry was the fixer, if you will, the fixer who has to trail behind, cleaning up the mess and the trail of destruction that Barry Morphew has left. Isn't that interesting? And so I did put a poll up on my community page. Let me go to it. I asked, will Barry Morphew be arrested again this week for the murder of his wife, Suzanne Morphew? With 77 votes, we have 52% said yes, Barry will be arrested in this week. 22% said no, and 26 are undecided. All right. So half said yes, and then a quarter basically said no or undecided. What do you guys think is going to happen? What could they have? What would they need to rearrest or arrest again? Do they have to arrest on a different set of circumstances based on evidence that they found on Suzanne's body? What was Suzanne wearing? Like my husband pointed out, if for some reason she was wearing the bathing suit, we know she was killed. And right, after that last photo was taken of her, she took of herself to send to her boyfriend. If she was in her pajamas, she was probably killed that night, Saturday night, at the house, and moved from there. So if there's any clothes fragments left, that would be super, super helpful. Who knows if he or whoever did it took all her clothes off. I don't know, that would be weird, but murderers are weird. I'm just watching this thing. I do think I have a ghost. I know I have a ghost in my house, but he's in my husband's office. Okay, I don't want to go off on that tangent because it could. Okay. So what would they do? He was released and let go on prejudice, which means they can go back and rearrest him. And okay, what kind of evidence do we want? Why hasn't Suzanne given me more information? I don't know. Well, let me hold this up while I see if I can talk to her. Suzanne, I know you're close by because I can feel you close by, Suzanne. But murderers should be behind bars or executed, in my opinion, Suzanne. We, as a society, don't want murders roaming the world loose for obvious reasons. It would be really helpful to get some more information. But I do appreciate, Suzanne, the information you've given me so far, which is a location for one. But I see her in another spot in the woods too. I think where she was found, I don't think there were trees around, but I do see her also around trees. So I don't know how many times this poor woman was moved around, but it wouldn't surprise me if she was moved 2, 3 times based on the amount of people that were out looking for her, strangers, even, YouTubers and stuff, just everyone out looking. Maybe he had to move her more than once or twice. That wouldn't surprise me. So why doesn't Spirit just say, well, hi, Audrey. Yes, my name is so and so. I was murdered, and this is how they did it. And I'm fine. It just doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Not for me. The fact that I can see and engage, I'm watching that thing. It's kind of lighting up. The fact that I can engage with Suzanne at all is a win for me. That's a win for me as a psychic. Audrey, she's dead. That's not a win. No, it's not. Even with the murderer in jail for the rest of their life or executed, is still not a win. There are no winners in murder. There's no justice in murder, ever. There's not. Well, they can have closure. Well, not really. We say that as a human race. We say that, our brains need, quote, closure. There's no closure. I'll promise you that right now. Those of you that have lost children or, whatever, we've all lost someone. There's no closure. You think about the person, you still cry for the person. But, I'm here to tell you that, the good news is, similar to what some of the books around the world say, yeah, you are going to see your loved ones again. But the even better news is they're with you now. You just can't see them. So that's the good news. Not always comforting for a lot of people, knowing their loved ones are still nearby. A lot of people will say they still feel their loved ones. Okay, I'm getting the chills. I'm having a vision. As I'm talking, Suzanne's showing me, every time I put this down, it starts bleeping. Suzanne is showing me right now her 2 daughters, and the daughters feel emotionally cut off to me, cut off from Suzanne, almost to say they don't feel their mother. I don't know the kids' names at all, but the 2 girls. Suzanne's saying, she's not around them. Almost like they couldn't handle it right now. They couldn't handle if Suzanne started engaging with them or showing up, if you will, in certain ways by shadows or songs or perfume smells or, whatever the things ghosts do to get our attention. I feel like Suzanne's not hanging around the family. And I'm also getting the feeling that she won't be hanging around with them for a while. It's like everything needs to be settled. And I'm asking Suzanne, as I'm talking to you guys, well, how is this going to work with your kids? Because we have like the Murdaugh case where Maggie Murdaugh wants the truth to come out that Alec didn't kill her or Paul. And for Buster's sake, Maggie Murdaugh wants Alec Murdaugh cleared of the charges of murder, even though he kind of set the murder up. You know what I mean? He didn't pull the triggers. I don't get that same feeling with Suzanne. Hold on. Spirit's chit-chatting. Suzanne's not said, like, I want everything settled so the girls can move on. Because honestly, we all know there's no moving on once it's proven Barry's guilty. I'm sorry. Yeah. Bad mistakes, but I still wonder, what if it was a crime of passion? What if he changes his story and just says, you know what? I was just so in love with her. She was having I swear to God, every time I set it down, okay, let me try doing it, setting it down here this way. What if Barry comes back and says, well, I wanted counseling and she was going to leave me and that was killing me. And, knowing she's out with this other man and, all these things. And what if he says he just snapped because of passion, crime of passion? What if he completely changes his story? Then what? I don't think you get set free for a crime of passion. I don't think, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Yeah, Barry's not looking good. Psychically, I can tell you he's not doing well. He's pretty much have you seen Richard Allen from the Indiana case? That's kind of where Barry Morphew is going. He's going to start not looking so much like himself just from the stress and pressure and the truth and lies that are out there. This thing's frustrating. Anyway, this is fun. But I do have a ghost in the room next door every night when we're sitting watching TV in the living room. I can see down the hallway. I can see somebody. Ugh. I don't know who it is, but I don't honestly, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to be involved. I don't want to be involved with the ghost that's here because I gotta live with you. So sorry. So we'll see how that poll changes. The poll that I did. If you haven't taken the poll, go to my community page. You'll see it there. There's 3 options to click: yes, no, or undecided. And I'll be back soon. I got lots of things to chit chat about. And again, when stuff hits the airwaves, the news media and stuff, that's when I jump on. But in the meantime, we'll try and manage and keep up to date with anything going on in these other cases. Kohberger, if Kohberger's set free, the world better handle it. That needs to be handled. If that man gets cleared of all charges, that's not going to be good. Will he even survive? No, I don't think he'll survive if he's let out of prison. They will get to him. So that is what it is. All right, you guys, thanks so much for watching this video. I appreciate it. I appreciate you so much taking the time to hang out and listen with me. And yeah, put all your comments down below. I'll check them shortly, and I'll see you next time. All right, ciao.